What's up, guys? Here it again, back with another video, and it's the beginning of the week and the week is off to a great start. I actually just got unloaded maybe at this point and like an hour ago. Empty trailer deck. I'm at a store. I delivered some lumber, not that stuff, but yeah, we got unloaded this morning, probably about 7 when they started. I had my stuff up and ready to go at 6 a.m. just because I'm an early riser like that. And we got our empty put in already, and I actually already have my next dispatch, which is one of the reasons why it pays to park up with this company that I'm at right now. You know, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you know that at TMC, when you park up the night before on a Sunday, you know, you get park up points, and also you get the added benefit of being first or higher up on the load board if you actually put in your empty sooner in the morning, as soon as you possibly can. But we're already done with that. I'm actually heading to pick up a load of shingles here once my pre-trip has been logged in on my clock. I'm just waiting for that time to go by. But yeah, shingles are probably one of the easier loads that you can pick up in flatbedding. Very, very simple. And to boot with that, it's only about 27 miles to drive to the shipper from where I currently am. But just a side note, guys, I'm delivering at a Lowe's right now, or I delivered to a Lowe's. And the thing that I like about Lowe's, if you ever paid attention to it, whenever you deliver to a Lowe's, there's usually a Walmart pretty close by, usually within walking distance, and that comes in handy if you spend a longer time on the road. Like I spend 2 to 3 weeks on the road from time to time, and when you do that, if you deliver to a Lowe's or a Home Depot, maybe even a Menards, sometimes you can walk over to the Walmart. Like prime example, there's a Walmart right across this field here, right over there. You can get yourself stocked up on groceries and not have to waste a whole bunch of your money getting overcharged at the truck stops, because we all know that the markup at the truck stops is crazy, and the food that you get there will not be as healthy. You can at least go to a store, an actual grocery store, and get some real produce, some stuff that's not going to shoot your blood pressure through the roof with all that salt and grease and fat that's in that food, no matter how tasty it might be. Do not make that truck stop food your primary option for feeding yourself out here. You will regret it. But yeah, I already did the pre-trip, so we're just waiting. I probably only have like 5 or so minutes left. So I'm just enjoying the weather right now. It rained last night. It's not hot, fortunately, yet. I'm hoping to be over at the shipper, get loaded, and get back in the truck in the AC before the sun comes out and makes things super humid today. But I'm picking up the shingles, as I said, and we're actually going to be delivering those shingles to a Menards out in Wisconsin. So that's going to be a long drive today. I think it's over 500 miles once I get loaded. I do not think that I'm going to have enough hours to drive all the way to the Menards, even though they have on-site parking. I think it's going to be slightly over 11 hours if everything were to go perfectly. Like if I didn't have any slowdowns, no delays as far as traffic holding me up, I still don't think that I would make it all the way there before I ran out of time on my 11-hour clock. But that's all right. We will find somewhere to park short of that. I don't have trouble doing that. But I'll bring you guys along for the ride. And with me going up to Wisconsin, I'm anticipating that my next load may be coming out of Saukville, you know, some coils, slinkies, or you know what, yeah, I think out of Saukville, I think all they have is slinkies. They give them to you in different formations though. You know, you secure them slightly differently, the 2 different ways that they put them off to you, but that's neither here nor there. We're not going to be dealing with that today in this video. That's just me speculating for the future. And I'm actually surprised, being where I am. I'm pretty close to Silver Grove, Kentucky, the Certainty where we pick up drywall. I'm like an hour and a half away from there.
Say a command.
Don't need that right now, but I thought I was going to go down there. I got a little surprise today. I actually prefer where I'm going because, for one, the load that I'm getting pays pretty well. It's going to Wisconsin, where I know the freight over there generally pays pretty well. The Midwestern freight is good, in my experience. I mean, that's where I am originally from, the Midwest, not Wisconsin, but the Midwest. If you can guess in the comment section where I'm from in the Midwest, I'll give you a thumbs up and maybe another surprise. We'll see how it goes. I don't know, don't hold me to that. But if you can guess, to give you guys a hint, and I think I may have said something about this in a previous video, but I didn't completely tell you guys where I'm from. I am from the Midwest, and I'll give you a clue. I'm not from the state of Wisconsin. I'm from the Midwest, but I'm from somewhere east of Wisconsin, from a state east of it. So let me know. Take your best guess. I'll let you know if you get it right. Yeah, today should be pretty easy. Shingles don't take very long to load up and secure. I think my record for loading shingles, well, not loading, for securing shingles is like 24 minutes, 23 minutes. Timing myself, but yeah, we'll get that done. Yeah. So I'll push it on to the next one. I'll catch up with you guys when I get there, because there's some other stuff that I want to go into, but I will wait until I actually have some examples in front of me before I go further into that, guys. See you there. All right, we made it here. It's a short, easy trip to get to this shipper, and I've actually been to this place before. When I saw the location, I was like, that looks a little bit familiar to me, and I've actually delivered to this place. I've never picked up from here, but I was here probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, because I remember this place. And let me show you guys here. It's a shingle place. Yeah, like I said, I delivered here in the past, and I remember it was a late in the day delivery. I had gotten here probably like around 3 or 4 p.m. or something like that. Took them a long time to unload me. I don't know why, because I was like the only driver that was here. I remember sitting around for a really long time, and they sent me to Certainty to pick up after I got out of here. And I got to Certainty like around 6 o'clock or something like that. 6 or 7. I think Certainty's like an hour or so drive from here. I got my pre-load trailer swap out of Certainty, and by the time I got done with that, it was like 8:30 or 9 or something like that, and it wasn't even worth it for me to drive anywhere with that. I ended up doing my 10-hour Certainty and leaving out of there like 4 in the morning the next day to try to deliver that load. That was not enjoyable at all. I hate when that happens, when you get done somewhere so late that it's not even worth it to try to drive any, and you just have to basically start fresh the next day trying to hurry up and get rid of that, and then you have a short amount of hours after that, and you get like a leftover load, or you get something, you know, that's kind of crummy just because of the amount of hours, the short amount of hours that you have left. But hold on, let me check this here. I'm getting called, probably getting called to go back there and get loaded. All right, we're backed into the dock now, and places like this can test your ability to back up for sure. This is one of those places that has one of those really narrow docks. It's not the narrowest dock that I've ever had to deal with. I mean, I believe there's a Georgia Pacific in Kennards. That dock is really narrow. And then that Certainty dock in Palatka, Florida, when you're delivering those paper rolls there. Also, you have the blind side to get into it. Those are the 2 worst places that I ever have to back up to. They are terrible. I hate going to those spots. Well, the Kennards one's not too bad, but that Palatka, Florida Certainty, delivering those paper rolls at that dock back there, those two narrow docks, blindside backing in, the worst experiences ever. But things like that make you a better driver, you know, having to deal with it, and, you know, having to, you know, mentally figure out, you know, getting out and looking, you know, doing the mental geometry in your head of, you know, the right angle to line your trailer up at, you know, to not hit those poles over there and all that. But that's a whole tangent about why I hate blindside backing. Forget all that for now. But yeah, as you can see here, if you can see in my mirror, and you might not be able to get it, and it's kind of loud because this other guy's got his engine running. But yeah, there's not a whole lot of space right there. So if you don't set yourself up correctly out here, you can have a little bit of trouble. Right now, it looks like there's a lot of space for me to go ahead and set myself up and maneuver. But when I came back here, there was a truck that was lined up pointing that way horizontally, and I only had, you know, from right here over to try to line myself up, so I couldn't curve over more that way to get my trailer angled towards the dock so that I could sight side back in. I had to pull forward straight and like hook over that way, and I had to back in blindside to this a little bit until I could straighten up. And it was pretty much as soon as I had myself lined up to be able to straight line back, the guy that was parked right here drove away because they were done unloading him. But that's how it is sometimes. You're not always gonna have the super easy straight line back opportunity or the sight side easy angle way of getting in. It's not always going to happen. So that's just part of being a truck driver, being able to navigate those situations, those scenarios, and not hit anything. The best piece of advice that I could give anybody that's doing it, anybody that's new, or you're still working on your ability to back up, is take your time, go slowly, back up bit by bit. Don't be afraid to stop, get out of the truck and look, you know, get a full mental picture and see it with your eyes what you need to do. Making sure they're not honking at me, get my attention. But yeah, just do that and you'll be fine. And the anxiety that you experience from trying to back up, especially when you're new, it will fade with time as you have more and more success and more practice doing things like this. But I'm gonna go ahead and chill out here, guys. I will see you once I have this stuff on the trailer, and I may record myself securing it. I may do that, but we'll see. It's starting to warm up and get a little hot, so I may want to go ahead and hurry up and do that once I have the opportunity, because with all that rain that came last night and it was sprinkling on the way in here, it's starting to get humid. So catch you guys in a bit. Okay, finally loaded. That took a while, just like the last time when I was here getting unloaded, so I guess that might just be how this place operates. A bit slow, but we're done. Like I said, it's about 11:45 right now and a 9-hour drive ahead of me. Something that I forgot about, since I'm going west to Wisconsin, I'll be gaining an hour of time. I mean, that's cool for the clock. Well, it's not gonna affect the clock necessarily. Your 11 hours of drive time is your 11 hours of drive time. You don't get more of that specifically when you change time zones, but just it'll be earlier in the evening when I get there. And instead of it being like 9 something, it's gonna be 8 something. Yeah, saying I'll get there about 8 o'clock if I left right now. I haven't gone through the process of securing the load right now. This is a bit different, slightly different load of shingles. It's not like something that you would pick up at GAF in Baltimore, stuff like that. Mine's a little bit different. I'll give you guys a quick peek on it. I'm not quite sure that I'm gonna show you guys the full securement of the load, just because I have other videos where I'm securing shingles. I think I have at least a couple of them at this point in time, maybe more by the time you guys see this video. But I'm gonna go ahead and do that just because 9 hours is a long time, and I've been up since 6 a.m. and to be up for another 9 hours, we'll see how I feel about that. But let's go ahead and get to it. Got my paperwork already. Yeah, but here we go. It's just slightly different. Got some baggage on these. I'm not quite sure the purpose, because this is not a tarp load, but that part doesn't really matter to me. You could secure this stuff the same way you would any other shingle load. X straps in the front, 2 straps on the first set of bundles, 2 straps on the rear, single strap in between, everything. Edge protectors, of course. Always put edge protectors on your shingle loads every single time. And the weight on this should be distributed well enough. There's nothing hanging over top of the drive axles here, so I should not be heavy on that end. Pretty much this load is centered on the trailer, really. So I'm not really worried about that. I'm gonna go ahead and secure this, guys, and then we will get ourselves out of here. Sure to time myself on this one so you guys can see how long I take. See if I can beat my record of what was I said, 24 minutes or so. Let's see what we got. got done, guys. Securing the loads on myself. 23 minutes, 25 seconds. Now, like I said, I believe my record before was about 24 minutes. I just beat that by a few seconds. And this ratchet winch bar right here definitely helped with that. You guys saw how easy this thing is to use. Don't have a whole bunch of in and out insertion with the nozzle in. Crank it up, winch it down, you're done. I've got a video about this if you guys haven't already seen it. My review on this tool, I highly recommend this thing. It's great. I use this all the time. Ratcheting winch bar, definitely get yourselves one, guys. Don't flatbed without it. All right, guys, I'm sweating a little bit because, like I said, that moisture from the rain last night, this morning, the sun came out, started cooking us outside a little bit, but we're done. And I just wanted to backtrack from what I said earlier about me parking up at the consignee last night. What's going on at this shipper right now is a testament to why that is so important to make sure that you're parking up whenever you are able to. When I first got to this place, there were 3 trucks out here waiting to get loaded. I was the 4th. I only sat around and waited for maybe like 15 minutes, 20 minutes before I was called to go back there and get loaded. Actually, it might have been a little bit shorter than that, actually, thinking back on it, but there's a ton of trucks out here right now. Let me show you guys. It's gonna be kind of loud because everybody's got their engines running because of the heat. They got their ACs going, I'm sure. But let me show you how many people are out here now. Drivers in the back over there too. Guys waiting over here. Guys waiting over here. People behind that truck over there too. Now, I didn't count all those trucks just now. You could slow the video down and count how many trucks there were if you like. But if I had not been parked up at the consignee this morning, I wouldn't have gotten here at the time that I did. I would have gotten here a little bit later, and I might not have even gotten this load at all. But I would have been waiting in line with all of these empty trucks right now, because I believe that bay can only hold like 4 or 5 trucks and loading it at a time. And you guys saw how long it took for me to get loaded when I was over there. I've been here long enough for my split log to happen. I've got all my time back, so I don't have to worry about my duty time catching up to me, because I'm gonna have to take a 30-minute break to try to make it all the way to the consignee. If I leave right now, I will get there at 8:30, so I'll be taking my 30-minute break later on down the road. I'll get there around 9 roughly, and I'm okay with that. It means my clock will refresh around 7 a.m. tomorrow. So that's all good to me. That all sounds good. But just keep in mind what I showed you guys about parking up and how important it is, and how it can influence the rest of your day coming up. Well, how it can influence your following day. Parking up the night before can help put you in a better spot for your next work day. Like mine, I'm done. All I got to do now is just drive for the rest of the day versus having to sit in line longer and potentially not even be able to make it to my consignee at all. Always put yourself in a position for success. But I'm gonna go ahead and scale out, get on the road, be running for the next 9 hours, get myself parked up in Wisconsin. Let's go. All right, guys, I'm here at a rest area right now. I just crossed the state line of Illinois not too long ago. My timing got pushed back a little bit because there was a couple of wrecks on the highway coming up I-80 out of Indiana. Right when you get to that area in Gary, there was a couple of accidents, so I lost some time there. I still have enough time to get to the consignee this evening, but it's going to be a little bit later than I want to get there. So right now I'm just seeing what areas are, or rather what truck stops and rest areas are going to be along the path. I think I'm going to end up just stopping maybe an hour to an hour and a half short, and I'll just pick it up and finish the route off tomorrow. I looked up this Menards that I'm delivering to. The way the parking lot is set up, it's not so much like a Lowe's or a Home Depot where you can do a full 360 around the building and park in the back or park along the sides once they unload you in the morning. This is one of those ones where you drive in and drive back behind the store through their gates, and then get unloaded and you come back out. There's not really a spot for me to hang out and chill if I get there a little bit later this evening and want to just hang off to the side in the morning after they unload me and wait. before I do dispatch, wait for my clock to refresh, because right now I'm doing my 30-minute break also. Forgot to mention that part. Doing that 30-minute break that I needed to do. I've got 2 hours, 16 minutes left on my clock before I take my 30-minute break, but I've got about 4 hours, 35 minutes total for driving, and I'm 4 hours and 35 minutes away. Oh, well, yeah, that's like right on what I've got left over, actually 1 minute less. So I'm not gonna chance that, because for me to try to make that, I would have to like have a flawless drive the rest of the way with absolutely no slowdowns at all. So yeah, the die is already cast on that. So I'm just gonna stop a little bit short, finish the route off in the morning. There's a rest area about 3.5 hours away. It's probably the last rest area before I actually get to the Constantine. After that, there's like a few mom and pop truck stops, but I'm not super familiar with the part of Wisconsin that I'm going to. It's pretty far north in Wisconsin, so I don't know what their parking availability will be around 9:30, 10 p.m. ish by the time I get up there. So it's better to play it safe than the risk excuse me, than the risk running into a clock violation and trying to figure out where to go and all that stuff when you're pushing your clock down to the very last second. So I'm gonna go ahead and get myself something to eat, determine exactly where I'm gonna stop at for the evening, and wait for this 30 minutes to be up, get back on the road. I'll check with you guys in a bit. All right, I'm still here at the rest area. Now this is one of those oasis rest areas that's in Illinois. More so once you get into it, coming out of Indiana. And I've actually never stopped at one of these places to take a break or do a load check. And I'm just now seeing here, I don't like the way that they have this parking lot set up. I don't think it's efficient or really that safe for the drivers that are leaving. Here, check this out. It's a pull through. Well, I can show you better than I can tell you. Now, if you can see in my mirror there, I'm facing the road to leave out right here. Now, to get into the secondary space, the next driver, as you can see that red truck behind me, they have to just pull straight in right behind my truck. And when he wants to leave, if I don't leave first, he's gonna have to reverse back out the way that he came a little bit and then drive out around the back behind these other trucks here. I don't think that's particularly safe, because you can't really see the other trucks coming in right off the highway. You know, they're gonna be coming off the highway at 55, 60 miles an hour if somebody's not slowing down. And also, the other issue is you can see that white straight truck right there. If they're parked in the way, they're kind of taking up the space that this guy in the red truck would need to reverse his truck and bend it back that way so he can drive out. Stuff like that is the type of thing that I take note of for the future. And I would probably avoid coming to this place again, just because I wouldn't want to be the driver that's stuck in the secondary position where that red truck is, because I don't want to have to deal with somebody getting me stuck, wedged in, or me having to wait for them to come back to their truck from going to the bathroom or going inside to buy some food in this rest area, holding my day up. Just a note for you guys, if you're ever around this area, look out for those oasis areas, at least this first one here when you cross the state line. Okay guys, I got to the rest area. It's the end of the night. It's about 10 o'clock right now. Yeah, Central Time. We came up just short of being able to make it to the Constantine, like I told you guys earlier when I stopped at that oasis. As you can see, got 100, no, I almost said 100. We got an hour and 10 minutes to go. And I only have an hour and 3 minutes left on my drive line for the day. And I saw that coming when I was at that rest area, so I planned accordingly. And that's why when you're trip planning, you always want to have a plan A, a plan B, and sometimes a plan C. So my plan A for this trip plan was to drive all the way to the Constantine, because when I first left the shipper, I had more than enough time. I had like an hour and a half, I believe, of spare time. An hour, actually no, it was an hour. A little bit more than an hour of spare time to get to the Constantine. But I told you guys I ran into some rush hour traffic coming out of Indiana, as well as a couple of wrecks on the highway that ate up my spare time. So that left me just short of being able to drive all the way and get parked up at the Consignee, which is why I planned ahead and had 2 additional spots, this rest area, and there was a truck stop that I passed on the way to this place that I was going to be able to park at, you know, and still have enough time. As you can see, I have an hour left on my clock, and that's what I try to do every night. I try to like set my trip plan up so that I have at least or right around an hour of spare time left on my clock, and that final hour is just in case my plan A or B does not work out. I still have enough time left on my drive clock to drive a bit further down the road, or maybe even backtrack a little bit if I have to get to a truck stop or a rest area where I can safely park and not have to worry about a clock violation or getting stuck somewhere, or having to try to manufacture a parking spot somewhere and be concerned with getting bothered by, you know, somebody telling me I need to move. You know, saving that hour of time eliminates that potential stress from my life. All right, I highly advise you do it. I mean, I don't always have to save time like that. If I know for a fact like the place that I'm going to is going to have an available parking spot for me, like say if I'm going home for the weekend, or I'm going to a Consignee and I know for a fact there's going to be some parking when I get there, I don't necessarily save that single hour for myself. A lot of times I won't need to, but that's just a little bit of cautionary work that I do for myself to keep the job easy, and like I said, stress-free, or as stress-free as I can possibly make it. But with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and have my dinner here, get some sleep, and I will see you guys in the morning. We'll get ourselves to the Consignee, get the stuff unloaded, and we'll see what's going on after that. Good night. Okay, guys, it's the next morning. We're actually at the Menards now, waiting to get unloaded. See, we're here in the back, and it's probably a positive thing that I didn't get all the way here last night, because there's literally only enough room for like 2 trucks to stage in front of their entrance gate to get back here. And once I got unloaded, they don't have enough space for me to like move off to the side and just hang out to wait for my clock to refresh. Though there is a truck stop that's like 2 minutes away from here, but you're not going to be able to crawl your truck for 2 minutes. Well, really, crawling your truck at like 4 miles an hour or whatever, you're not going to be able to do anything like that on an open road. You're definitely not going to be able to do that. You're going to be impeding traffic, and you know, a whole bunch of stuff that you do not need to do. So I stopped, like you guys already know, an hour away from here, no problem. So I'm just waiting on my dispatch right now. Already put in my empty. There's a truck stop like those 2 minutes away, and I don't have a problem driving to that now. Of course, my clock's already up and running. Hopefully I don't have to wait too long for the next dispatch, but all this worked out just about as well as it could have. It just goes to show, guys, like when you're out here trucking over the road, or even, you know, for a local driver, it doesn't matter as much for a local guy, but when you're over the road trucking, you have to be, you know, ready for your plan to be altered. Always have the plan A, B, and C, like I was telling you guys when I was driving around, or when I was working yesterday. So always have your plan set, you know, have a plan of attack just in case things don't go 100% according to plan. That way you're not in a stressful situation. And here we go. Starting to get unloaded now. Shingles are really easy to deal with. Doesn't take very long to secure them. Doesn't take very long to unsecure them. And I should be out of here finished, I'd imagine, within the next 15 minutes, if that. But I'm not sure where I'm gonna go next to pick up. I mean, I'm not super familiar with Wisconsin. I've been through here a lot, but I usually end up going to the same place to pick up freight when I'm up here. I usually end up going to Saukville, Wisconsin, to pick up some Slinkies. But I looked already, and that shipper is like 2.5 hours from where I am. I hate having to have a bounce that's that far away. Now, if the load pays a good amount of money, I could deal with it, but I don't want to have to bounce for 2.5 hours and get a load that's like just a mediocre load as far as pay goes. You know, I view that as a waste of my time. But sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. If you're in a specific area and there's just nothing else around, or if it's a certain time of the day and there's not a lot of extra freight running around that you have more options for, you know, you might just have to take something like that. But we will see, guys. We'll see. I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit. I'll close the video out, I think, once I know for sure where I'm going. Stay tuned. All right, guys. I ended up driving across the street, basically, to that truck stop I was telling you about. And sat around here probably for, you know, an additional 30 minutes, which isn't bad. And I actually got my next dispatch, and just like I thought, I am going to Saukville, Wisconsin to go pick up some of those coils. I'm pretty certain, you know, if my memory serves me correctly, every time that I'm up in Wisconsin, I have always gotten dispatched to that place. Anytime I've made a delivery up in Wisconsin, gotten dispatched to Saukville next to go pick up my following load. So I've got a 2.5 hour drive ahead of me, guys, and I'll be delivering to Ohio on this one. So it's gonna be about a 9 hour total drive. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to it. Probably make myself some food real quick, heat something up, and get myself prepared, make sure I stretch a bit before I go do this 2.5 hour drive. It's gonna be around, probably around noon, maybe 1 o'clock, depending on traffic by the time I get there. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock that out, get this drive taken care of, so I can get as far as I can tonight with that and deliver with a good amount of hours still on my clock tomorrow. I'm not quite sure where I'll be picking up from there. I know in Ohio, I don't know exactly where Rising Sun is, because I know there's also a Rising Sun in Indiana. I know where that is, but Rising Sun, Ohio, I don't think I've ever been there. So maybe I'll go to Delta to go pick up a big coil from there. There's a coil place in Monroe, Ohio. We got Silver Grove, Kentucky. I mean, I'm not exactly sure, like I said, what part of Ohio I'm gonna be going to as far as the relation of Rising Sun to those other places that I just brought up. But I'm gonna go ahead and clear out, guys. Got some work to do. I appreciate you all watching, following me along on this journey here. Make sure you're liking, commenting, and subscribing to my videos, my channel. I respond to all the comments, or at least I try to. Yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I'll check you in the next video. Here it out.